Hi, I'm Jack Slocum with Option Alpha. Today we're going to be starting up a brand new bot that trades one of these strategies. I can tell you it's not the orange one. You'll be surprised on which one it actually is. It's not the blue one either. But we'll get to that in 1 second. Before we do, we're going to jump on over here and do a little catch up on how my bots have been doing. I've been pretty much hands off working on the platform except for a few trades in my manual trading bot here, and I'll tell you what those were about. But before we do, I want to catch up on these two bots right here. If you watched the last couple videos, I shared these guys were getting pummeled. I think in the last video, this one was down 6,000. This one was down around 4,000. The long call spread one hit a little bit of a streak, and the long put one here just hit a win finally yesterday. So if you look, it actually lost 27 trades in a row, was down $6,900. And in the last video, I was like, hey, I keep coming here, I keep looking at this back test. It shows long losing streaks are definitely possible, has a max drawdown of $9,900. So even though it's losing, I'm going to stick to the strategy and hope that it works out long term. And it finally did get a good winner. And actually on Wednesday, the day before this one nailed a humongous profit, this one was actually up $5,000 as well. It was up 2,100%, but I did not close it. I decided to hold it. And part of the reason for that is this strategy is not one where I'm going to take small profits here and there because it loses almost every single trade it makes. This bot is about making lots of losing trades and then getting one big winner that more than makes up for all the losers. And I'm hopeful that's going to continue to happen, God willing. So let's jump on over here and take a look at how this one did. It had a nice little streak. Look at how many in a row it's actually lost now. But it had a nice little few winners here and there. This one, $10 after an opening for 95 cents. Another one here, another one here. So it had a bunch of different winners that brought it back from deep in the hole. Let's see, it was down 4,394 and it's up a bit now. And YFly, if you remember, this bot was on a hot streak last year and then got really cold. So mine was up $5,000 plus and then went all the way down to plus $398 and now has climbed back up. The other trades that have been made is this auto ETFs. This bot trades trade idea trades, and it did have a rough spot. Here you can see it took a few max losses in a row right here as well. So over the course of a bunch of trades, it took a lot of max losses between October and January, but overall it's been doing a bit better lately. I believe it's because more volatility is coming into the market, and that means more premium for these positions that it's trading. Hopefully this run will continue as well. So I'm excited to share the results of how these bots are doing. There are links to these bots included in the description down below. If you see here, this has completely turned around since the last video. If we include the bots that I've actually removed, you can see here there was this humongous drawdown period, and I'm back up in the green over here. Throughout that process, I've been making these videos. I'm sharing my losses with you. I want to be completely transparent about what's going on. And what this reminds me of is a story I was reading the other day. The story's about Jesus walking on water. And so his disciples were in a boat. They're going across the sea. There's a storm and wind. And here comes Jesus walking across the water towards the disciples. And the disciples were scared. They thought, oh my God, it's a ghost. And Jesus is like, no, don't be afraid, it's just me. And so Peter, one of his disciples, says, Lord, if it's you, command me to walk out on the water towards you. And Jesus says, come. And so Peter goes out walking on the water towards Jesus, but at some point he gets scared of the storm and gets scared of the wind, and he starts to sink. And Jesus reaches out his hand and says, why did you doubt? The moral of this story, and many others that Jesus taught, are about having complete and total faith in the middle of the storm, no matter what's going on. And if you can look here, I was in the middle of a pretty big storm. So when I hear this story, I think about how can I apply this to my trading? So what I think about is how many times during the day do I go in and look at my positions and have fear or doubt that they're not going to work out? And then the question I ask myself is, why do I have those fears and doubts when I look at my positions? Like if I'm making good trades, why do I have those fears and doubts? And the first reason is because the positions are losing. And the second reason is because the positions are winning. So no matter what's happening with those positions, either way, it's giving me fear and doubt. If they're losing, I have fear that they're going to continue to lose or that they're going to end up being a max loss. And if they're winning, I have fear that they're going to turn into a max loss. How can I overcome those doubts? So this is where I'm really grateful to have the tools that I have as a trader today. One is to use automation, so I just don't have to look or think about my positions at all. There's a bot that's there watching all day, every day. The other way is to backtest as many of my trades as possible, so when I'm going through one of these downturns, I have the faith to stick to the strategy, knowing that the downturn is normal because it's happened many times in the past as well. And the last part is using trade ideas and other tools where I'm getting into trades with a positive expected value. Because what I know is if I continue to make trades with positive expected value, then long term I'm going to make money off of doing that, even if in the short term it looks like that. What I really want to know is what would my results be like if I only traded when I had some form of a quantifiable edge or I could completely automate my trading. So there's no doubts. What would that be like? I don't know, but I'm going to try to do that in this video series. This is a learning process as I go along, and we'll see how that works out. Now, let's jump on over into these back tests and talk about them. So the first thing is these back tests are all using a new option that will be released very soon for the Option Alpha platform. This is in the development environment, so it's not available publicly yet. We expect it to be available within the next 2 weeks. But what it's doing is it's trading 0 DTE iron condors based on the expected move for the day. So for example, this one here, you can see it's trading the short put is 0.01 below the expected move down or lower. And the short call is 0.01 above the expected move up or higher. So this is back testing over the last 3 years, and what we're doing is we're using a calculation that calculates what the expected move is that market makers are pricing into the options, and then we're selling legs that are outside of that expected move slightly and seeing how those do over time. And as you can see here, the orange one did have the most profit overall, and we could choose to run that one. However, what I was looking at is this last one, which uses wider wings. So instead of having only $1 wide iron condor, it actually trades a $3 wide iron condor. And if you look, it did make a lot less profit overall, around 4,300. But look at the max drawdown, is only 1,100 versus 3,500. So someone with a smaller account like me, this max drawdown is very attractive. And so I'm going to go ahead and spin up this bot right here. So what this is doing is every day at 12 p.m., it's going to trade an iron condor for that day that expires at the end of the day. That is outside whatever the expected move is that the market is currently pricing in for that day. So I'm going to go ahead and start this bot. I'm going to click here and click Create Bot. I'm going to call it the SPY EX move. I'm going to select my Tradier account. I'm going to give it, say, $2,500. I'm actually going to give it a little time range here to scan. So the original one was for 12. So it's going to start at 12, but I'm going to allow it to continue to retry in case the trade doesn't get filled until 12:15. All right, and then the other thing that we need to set here is the pricing for the trade, like what is the worst price we're willing to accept. And I'm going to go ahead and set this up to 5 cents slippage from the mid price. And I'll set it to the same thing for closing trades, but it doesn't actually make any closing trades. It just allows it to run until the end of the day. So I click Create Bot, check out my bot settings. There it is. All right, 1 trade per day. I'm gonna have it scan every 1 minute. Let me give it a unique icon. I'm gonna go orange, and let's see here. How about we do this magnet? All right, so we got a new bot here. Let me go ahead and turn the automations on. We'll see how this does over time. When the new release of the platform comes in the next 2 weeks, I will go ahead and share a copy of this bot in the community so you can trade it yourself. I'll also share links to the back test so you can see those results and tweak it if you want to edit it for yourself. So that's it for today's video. On behalf of the Option Alpha team, we love you guys, and God bless.